There's too many of them. We're never gonna make it through this. My spells they aren't strong enough to take them all down on my own.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
We're going to have to join up. We cast our spells together.
No, we can't. Last time we tried something like that, we nearly burnt down the entire village.
Yes, but this time, we're not drunk.
Okay, fine. Let's do this.
I cast Firestorm, and I join.
You both manage to put your spells together, pour in all of your mana. Fire plumes out, covering the orc horde underneath. At the end of the carnage, you see nothing but ash. Hello and welcome to Grit and Glory, the brand new TTRPG that is ready to upgrade your gaming experience. I have great news. The Kickstarter for Grit and Glory, for this project to be actually, become a reality, it's live right now. It's from the 24th of September until the 24th of October. So go back it ASAP. But, you're here now, you might as well give us a little like, comment and subscribe. Just help appease the YouTube algorithm, grow the channel a little bit so we can get more amazing people like you on board. But that's enough with the very shameful plugging. On with the video. That scene just showed two spellcasters using the joint spellcasting system in Grit and Glory. That is where they managed to put their spells together and make it even more powerful than they could do on their own. Before I get into describing exactly how that works, let me briefly go over how spellcasting in Grit and Glory works generally. I have a video going in a deep dive about it right here, but the basics that you need to know are that 1, we use mana instead of spell slots. 2, each spell is like a spell tree with different enhancements that can change the nature of the spell or increase its power. And 3, when casting a spell, there is a chance of a tribute being called upon you by the arcane. This is usually some very brutal consequence for daring to tamper with it. So those are the basics. Now, how do you start joint spellcasting? Well, when an ally you can see casts a spell that you can spend the AP, action points, required to cast that spell as well. Once you do this, you get to declare how much mana you're adding to the spell cast, which then allows that original caster to use that mana as if they were adding it to the spell themselves, so they could increase the enhancements they've added to the spell, possibly reaching levels that neither of you could afford on your own. Or it could even just mean that you get a preemptive strike on that boss who's on his last legs before he gets a chance to finish you off. These kinds of moments of strategic thinking and teamwork are just not possible in D&D, and they are in Grit and Glory because instead of us designing it as a dungeon crawler, we designed it with these kinds of moments in mind. But of course the name is Grit and Glory, so you can't have all that reward without a little risk.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Whenever you do joint spellcasting, just like when you cast a spell normally, the original caster must make a spellcasting skill check. And on a fail, you roll on the tribute table, just like normal. However, this time, because you've expended past your limits, both participants must roll twice on the relevant table, which means that if it goes wrong, it can go really wrong. But don't worry, you don't lose the spell. It still goes off. You haven't wasted your entire turn and all of your resources as well. You just have that little bit of a drawback as well. The reason that we added joint spellcasting as an option to begin with is because it adds flexibility and choices to your TTRPG game. And what is a TTRPG if not just a series of choices? Plus, this keeps spellcasters invested even when it's not their turn. But if I can brag a little bit, that is pretty much the case for everyone in Grit and Glory already, because we massively changed how combat works, which I explain in these videos right here. Overall, I just think that this has made spellcasting feel more epic and glorious. And as a forever GM, I love the added bonus of being able to use this as the monsters. Now, instead of it just being a BBEG, it is a pair that are combining their magic together in cool and unique ways. And If I do decide to use just a single bad guy, it makes him even more intimidating when he can spell duel against 2 of your allies combined and wipe the floor with both of them. I mean, yeah, I know counterspell is a thing in D&D, but it's not that powerful, and it's definitely not that cool.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
And the thing is, this isn't just some side rule that's latched onto the book and kind of forgotten about. There are tons of talents and abilities that increase your capabilities of doing this, which means that 2 wizards or spellcasters that are joint together and are working together all the time can actually grow and pick different talents in this tree so that when they work together, they're even better than if they just joint spellcast with a random stranger, which does make sense for your party, right? You're growing, learning more about each other, risking life and limb for each other. You should be more in sync as time goes on. So all in all, I think that joint spellcasting is pretty fun and pretty cool. And if you want to see more about spellcasting or spell duels or just the rest of the Grit and Glory system, check out this playlist here. I hope you enjoyed that video in all of its nerdy glory. But now is time to talk about the Kickstarter. It is really important. I can't stress this enough. As much work as me and the team have put into this game, it simply cannot become a reality without the backing of people like you. So if you can go and check it out in the description below, that would actually help us with getting these books printed and getting them shipped out to tables like yourself. In the meantime though, you know, once you've finished all of that and given all of your money to us, you might as well check out some of these 2 videos here.